Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Transfer Watch show on a Chelsea Perspective. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, but more importantly, blue morning to you. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you're all doing well, and I sincerely do mean that. Today, we'll talk about some transfer rumors that are out there. Bukoya, Saka, Jorginho, his new contract. Kovacic may well fall into that category because by next year he'd have just 2 years left on his contract. And N'Golo Kante himself, his surgery, and all of that, and some other players too. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, thank you, and welcome back to the show. Please, if you're there, let me know if you can hear me. I appreciate you finding time to join. Never easy, never easy. So thank you for all the support that I've gotten from you. Like I said, quite a few things to talk about. We have two shows chained for this morning. Unfortunately, I started the wrong one. I had to end it, recreate it. So this one ends, let's say, in an hour. And the moment it ends, we take about 30 minutes break or less to start the next one. Again, I decided to break them into two so that if anybody wants to watch them, they can do so. I see my brother Mikhail already in the chat. And here we have, again, Blue Morning Kachila panel and a chat. Again, same to you, Lam Lane, always the first to make it to the show. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Please like and subscribe when you enter. Again, if you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. Thank you so much for saying that, Liam Lynn. I sincerely do appreciate that. I'm hearing a whistle. Hopefully, it's not coming from my end. Kind of very, again, high pitched sound. Yes, CFC I hope you're doing well, brother. Again, whenever you get a chance, share the link to your channel. Like I said, you don't even need to tell me. We grow together. That's what we do here in the community. And here we have Liam saying hi. Okay, sound okay. Thank you so much. We can hear you. We can hear you. Yes, my brother Mikhail. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. I hope you're doing well. And here we have again. Yep. Oh yeah. Okay. Some hands up, thumbs up, trumpet, drum. 100%. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that. A good exercise for me, maybe to wake up properly because I haven't had my coffee. Maybe the break before the other show, I'll do that. Big up, Coach Fraser HK. It's been a while. Again, bro, please, Fraser, do let me know that you're doing well. Again, I haven't heard from you in a while. I understand bills don't pay themselves, and that we're all busy. So please let me know how you're doing. I'm going to come back to the panel immediately, and thank you again. Roger, I think it's just you, so I'm going to start with you. How are you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well.
Hey, good morning. I'm splendid. How are you, sir?
I can't complain. Thank you very much. I feel so much better than I was, again, a few days ago, and I'm happy about that. More importantly, again, Roger, welcome to the panel. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. A few topics, some interesting one about Koulibaly, not something bad, about how well he's done. Again, how many forward passes he's made since he's started playing for us. But I think I'd rather go through that one when we start the preview show and then the lineup, predicted lineup show. But we'll see. Maybe I'm tempted to do that now. Doing well, thank you, bro. Again, hope you're good. Yes, I am good. I cannot complain. I have to be honest with you. Let's start looking at the topics immediately because we don't have too much time to cover everything we have in that aspect before we get to the predicted lineup exercise. This one here says, again, Chelsea are one of many top clubs on Bukoya Saka's situation at Arsenal. again, are following, monitoring, or maybe interested in signing Bukoya Saka. But my thinking is this: I don't think it will ever happen. I don't think he will leave Arsenal. Again, I think they do anything they can to keep him. Plus, we must recognize that again, at the moment, he's one of the club's best players. They are top in the table. Already, if you look at their squad, you could argue they don't have a squad depth to help them win the league. So why would they sell again a player, one of their best players, if you ask me? So I want to get your thoughts on that, Roger. Do you think it's something that's going to happen, or do you think it's all nonsense?
Probably the latter as opposed to the initial. I can't see him leaving. May I ask, what academy did he belong to? Is he an Arsenal product?
Yeah, Arsenal through and through.
Yeah, so he bleeds red, right? So I doubt very much. I can't see Arsenal wanting to sell him unless he's asking for exorbitant new contract wages. And then I can't see him moving. He will be vilified if he moves from Arsenal to the Bridge. And 3, would we want him? So I just don't see it transpiring at all.
I think while I agree with you that it's absolute nonsense, something that I have to say quickly is that, again, if we get a chance to sign him, I think we would. Again, he's a fine player overall. He's not a finished product yet, but he's playing like he's played the game, for quite some years now. But he just emerged 2 years ago, a year.
What's his age?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
What's his age? What is his age? He's 21, 22,
let me check.
21.
Yeah, 21. So they
just turned 21.
Good morning.
Morning, guys.
So he's really young. I've watched him play for England, and I watch about 50% of the Arsenal games. Actually, the top 6, I watch about 50 to 3/4 of all their games because they're very entertaining. But I've noticed one thing about him, whether it be for club or country, and I understand he's so young, but he is rather inconsistent also. He has really good and outstanding games, and then he'll disappear the next week. So
even at that, I still think Arsenal, again, they will not, for any reason, let him go.
I'm saying this constructively. I'm not putting him down at all.
No, I understand totally.
Because he's so far away from reaching his peak, his what I would call full potential. So I'm not being derogatory in any sense. I'm just being objective in how I have viewed him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe you. And if you look at his numbers, I think he's grown from strength to strength. Again, he started with a single match that was in 2019, 0 goals, 0 assists. 26 matches, 1 goal, 5 assists. The next year, it got better. 2020, 2021, 32 matches, 5 goals, 3 assists. Again, 38 matches in 21, 22, 11 goals, 7 assists, from strength to strength. And this year, it looks like, again, this particular season, I think the number will, again, it will get better. Already he's into 4. So again, I think he's a player that, truthfully, if Chelsea get the chance, they will go for him. But do I think it will happen right now? I don't think so. I'll let OG let us know what he thinks about the rumor, whether he believes it at all, whether he thinks it's something that's going to happen. Before we go something, again, show you where they are talking about how Arsenal are working to give him a better contract to get him to stand. I think they will do that. But go ahead, OG. Big up. Welcome to the panel, bro. I hope you're doing
guys,
well.
Man. Good morning. Good morning, guys. How are you? All well? Yeah. So, I mean, there's a few takes on this. Have you guys seen the All or Nothing, or maybe I'm the only Chelsea fan?
No, I haven't seen the Arsenal All or Nothing. No, I haven't.
Well, this is the new era. We've got social media. We've got in-depth documentary / entertainment, like the All or Nothing. Back in the day, it was all about the newspapers. You guys remember? And I mean, the biggest traitor back in the day was probably Alan Smith when he went Man United. Do you remember that? Leeds, they threatened death threats to him. They want to kill him. You might remember that time. You probably both remember that.
Yep.
So this is basically the similar thing, but on steroids. Because of the social media, because of all the coverage he's got, because of what happened in England, they carried it on to the All or Nothing. And obviously, he's a young black man in inner city London. They would really, really tag him as he would probably go down as the biggest traitor since Sol Campbell / Alan Smith.
Sure.
You know,
Also,
if he came from Arsenal to Chelsea.
Don't forget about Cole too. He was vilified.
Oh yes, that was a good one. Really, I like that. The old tap up in the bar. But this is the number one, just because of the era we're in and because of his history as well as All or Nothing. It's almost impossible for me to see it. If you see the All or Nothing, you can see his character. When you're a young man like him, his character exudes. He can't block it in or keep it in. He just shows who he is. You even saw it on the floor with Mane. You could tell he respects Mane. He's a young, respectable man. The moment was big for him. So I don't see it happening ever unless he honestly wants, fan mail for life, fan spamming his chats for life negatively. Luckily, Sol Campbell and Ashley Cole got lucky. He was the last one of the era.
Do you recommend us watching that All or Nothing or no?
Do you mention who?
Do you recommend?
I watched them all, and this is the best one, to be honest. And it's funny because when I was watching it, Arsenal were doing very well in the beginning to see. I was like, what am I watching and what am I looking at? It was two different polar opposites.
Sure.
But it's funny because, they had a really bad season last season. So, as a Chelsea fan, you'll chuckle at some parts of it. However, I just think his agent or his team's being, dare I say, sneaky, just trying to get the maximum money. If he did go somewhere, it'll have to be somewhere like Man City where he won't get as much hate, but he will still be guaranteed to win things like Sterling. But if he came to Chelsea, even I wouldn't like him. Even I would be like, hey, you're such a traitor. The amount of love you showed for Arsenal and the amount of love they showed for you after the World Cup, and you went on about it.
Well, look at
he comes to us, I wouldn't take it.
Well, look at Giroud. He came from Arsenal, and I was a bit, oh boy, he bled red, and I tell you, I grew to love Giroud. To me, I love the club, and if we have a player that comes to us, regardless of where they come from, whether it be Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, I think I eventually warm up to them. Actually, you have to respect where they come from and who they play for.
I mean, Giroud's not an Arsenal. Even Ashley Cole was not. This guy is a proper Arsenal.
Yeah. He's academy. May I ask, when's his contract up? By the way, coach.
Let me check quickly. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. Because if it's soon, that means that the agent is posturing. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
That's all it is. And
these agents are more bold these days. They're more brazen with the social media and talk to other clubs.
Yeah.
And it's looking like, again, the issue with Arsenal, it looks like he's still under contract. They offered him when he... What? Let me see that.
When does it expire?
Let me just give me a second. I will find it now.
If it expires in, let's say, 3 to 4 years, it could be the fact that he signed a contract whereupon he's looking for a major increase based on the fact
that's a chance he's still on the contract that, again, his first professional contract.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his first senior contract.
Not to be cynical, but it looks like it's posturing.
Yeah, his contract expires in 2024, so most likely he's still on the first big contract he got after emerging from the youth team to the senior team. Yeah,
exactly.
So overall, I think we should just move on from him because it's not going to happen. Again, it's just the media easy to make the most of the slightest the situation they see from a player like him. So it's not surprising, really. Here we have, again, his numbers. We looked at his numbers ain't that bad. There's something I have here. Okay, Arsenal here, again, are optimistic about the contract situation of both William Saliba and Bukoya Saka. There's nothing concrete with any other club as of now. It's again, Saliba's case was that, again, you could say they didn't rate him that much. And then his loan deal, I think Arteta took a second look at him and said, wow, what do we have here? And then plus in preseason, he was brilliant. They decided to keep him. But now it's going to be difficult for them to keep him because they're in a very, very But we're not looking at Saliba anyway. Now, I don't think we're looking at Bukoya Saka either. So we should just move on from that one. If you're coming in, please take a second to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, the likes do go a long way. Let's get what we have in the chat, and we can come back and take a look at all the topics we have there. We need to wrap this one as soon as possible because we still have to do the predictor lineup show. So this one at most will be 1 hour, 20 minutes. Okay, thank you so much, and good to hear that you're doing well. You ain't getting Saka again. Again, like we say, we just have to talk about it, and we already know that. So don't start a fight. Good morning, people. Working night shift, so I'm gonna miss tonight's game. Might catch the highlights during my break. Again, yeah, that happens. But bills, you don't get what you pay your bills for by watching the game. So you got to do what you got to do, brother. But more importantly, nice to see you and knowing that you're doing well. Big up the panel, big up Alpha B. I hope you're doing well. Again, hi, gentlemen. We don't need a Saka. We have, again, Nkunku. This sentence we have. I don't think we've wrapped up the signing of Nkunku yet. At least that's what I believe. Do I think we're going for him? I think we are, but I wouldn't say we have him as of now. Again, having Nkunku, don't get me wrong. Saka is good, but we have a lot of unfinished products. If a left-footed attacker is what we need, we can do better. So I like that contribution there, and that's why we're here to talk about it, to come to a sensible conclusion. Good morning, guys. Again, hope you're all doing great. I hope you're doing great too. Emmanuel Daniel Harris, how are you doing? Yeah, again, all or nothing is always a good watch. Again, Spurs, City, and Arsenal. A Chelsea one will be fun. I have that one again. It's been discussed. If it comes out, I wouldn't miss a single day of it. Again, a good day, everyone. Good day to you too. I hope you're doing well. I don't think Saka is a possibility for Chelsea, but you never know. I don't think it's a possibility either. Given many factors that I mentioned, they're topping the table. They're doing well. If you ask them, they believe they can win the league. They don't have a strong enough squad, so it wouldn't make any sort of sense to sell one of their best players at this point. Again, contract talks. Yep, Saka should never come to Chelsea. Do I like him? I think he's a fine player, but he's not a finished product. But again, there's quite a lot he should be able to do as he matures. But I don't think we really need him right now. Arsenal wouldn't allow Saka to leave for Chelsea. Again, Chelsea did business with them for Giroud, but his career at Arsenal was done at the time. That's the truth. Saka, again, is an Arsenal academy lad, so they won't. Yeah. If those players are smart, they won't extend. Well, I think they believe they can win everything now. And again, we must remember it's business for the players as much as it is business for the club. If they show them enough money, they'd stay. They have Arsenal yeah, they do. The only way, again, they should stay is, again, if Arsenal are offering crazy wages. That's the thing. That's the only thing that will make the difference. And again, there are clubs, quite a lot of clubs are willing to pay that much money. Again, keep in mind this last window we signed Omari Hutchinson from Arsenal. So he left on a free. Was that a signing? He joined us on a free, didn't he?
Yeah, free.
Yeah, on a free, because they wouldn't sell him either. He's a fine talent. So yeah. Please, yes, guys, please keep liking the stream if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. Again, forget Saka. He's good, but again, he does take Chelsea. He doesn't take Chelsea to the next level. He needs another 2 or 3 years to be fully matured, and we don't. We don't afford that to develop players. Again, it's not happening. You must not be paying attention to what the new owners are doing. A lot of young talent. I think if really we see the possibility of signing him, if the owners, as the numbers people we've heard, if they look at their numbers and feel like we can actually get them, they'd go for him. So again, this time I think we've moved beyond past the era where we look at only ready-made players. Let me see an update from Liam Lane here. Let me see if there's something that I'm supposed to look at immediately. If not, we'll move on. Give me a second. Okay, I'm not seeing it. My screen is a bit Oh yeah, okay. Just the Omari Hutchinson, again, delicious goal, I must say. Yeah, that was beautiful, man. And again, I'm hearing that he's impressed. Again, the senior players plus Graham Potter himself. He's doing quite well. I hope he gets his chance. What a player he is. But that's, by the way. Let's talk about Amanda Broya, his case. But I'm not gonna again dwell too much on this. I think it was so changed. I think for me this is clickbait, and again we just need to talk about that. Well, just move on from it, not dwell on it too much. It says Amanda Broya hasn't had the game time he desires as he's signing a new contract, and a Chelsea exit could become inevitable. AC Milan have recently held talks over a potential move. That was before he extended. So to me, this is absolute nonsense. I think he stays. He's here for a long term. He's extended, and he understands that the process will be gradual. So again, I wouldn't even worry about this one bit. What do you think, Roger?
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know, I know. Again, OG, you think the same too. I don't think it's worth wasting our time on it.
He just signed a 6+1, didn't he? So. Yeah, they can have him for a couple $100 million, sure.
Yeah, if they can pay up. Yeah, like let's say 400 million at least. I think he's a player that we value so much. Again, I think we'll talk about it for the sake of educating our fans that it's absolute nonsense. As you can see, again, people do fall for distance. It has 426 likes, 14 quotes and 24 retweets. So. Oh yeah, look at Greentuff here. Like he said, what a load of crap for clicks. I think that's what it is, really. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. Yeah. So we'll move on from that one. This one here, again, it's understood Omari Hutchinson impressed as senior players against Sterling and Aspilicueta among those to offer, again, encouragement and advice. In one session, it is believed one full international was not making... Not make them wonder. This is just fun to look at, but do I think the kid is good? I think he's good. But OG, how soon do you think he gets the chance, to be part of the senior team? Do you think like in a cup game or Premier League or anything? You think?
Yeah,
how soon do you think
one of
he
the
joins
FA
the
Cup games. Funny enough, the first Carabao Cup game is a big game with Man City, so that's not going to be his chance. One of the smaller FA Cup games, a Swansea or a Leyton Orient, who knows who we draw first. And, maybe if the injuries do continue to plague us, which they're coming out of nowhere thick and fast now, if they do, he might even get another chance. I mean, Chukwuemeka's probably just one starting list ahead of him. But straight after that will be people like Hutchinson. I don't think Dennis Zakaria is ever going to play, probably gone in January. So, just an injury away or simply a lower league team in the FA Cup. And if he impresses then, he can play again.
Yeah, and in the case of Chukwuemeka, like you just mentioned, I think he was close actually to getting a start until he got ill. I think he would have started against it was Crystal Palace, but unfortunately for him, he got ill. Yeah. Yeah, so let's move on from that one there. Anything else here?
How old is Omari, by the way?
I think
21 as well, right? 20.
Yeah, let me check quickly.
I thought he was younger. But
let me check. If you had
prodigy, isn't he, that we bought?
Yeah, he's the guy, yeah.
Yeah.
He's 18, bloody hell.
Yeah,
he's 18, yeah, still very young.
Yeah. He's turning 19 next week. Happy early birthday, Omari.
Yeah. Again, I think he has a future at Chelsea, and we, again, I hope to see him in the senior team soon. But we should manage that. No, I don't want us to make the same mistake we made in the case of Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think we should take the approach of we're seeing again in the case of Broya and Kante Chukwuemeka. Make it a gradual process. Don't do it in a way that, again, the young player becomes overwhelmed with the whole situation. There's so much expectation on them, and the fans not being satisfied with whatever they achieve or the little they're able to contribute to the team. I think we should, again, make it a gradual process. It's as simple as that. I've read that one there. He just want to say, again, this is simple. Saka is not a massive upgrade to us. He's not, again, but when you able get the opportunity to sign such a talent, you do it. It's as simple as that. He's still young and can only get better. You can say since emergence, he's one of the players that I've dreaded. For me, I've dreaded playing against whenever we play Arsenal. We seem to see his best whenever he play against us.
He has our number.
Yeah. Omari finishing last night again, top class. I sent it to you, Kuchila. Yes, I have it. Again, I'm just concerned about copyright issue, not to be careful with that. Saka again would help us motivate her to the next level. Some people think otherwise, but I don't think we're getting him. That's the most important thing. The coach CFC again, big up to you too. I hope you're doing well.
Hey Dan.
Rambo again, a bad boy. Chelsea getting yes. Again, if Chelsea win today, we are in the title race. We're already in the title race. We don't have to wait for again. You can say the Arsenal are just how many points? About 4-6 points above us.
We have a game in hand.
Yeah, with a game in hand too. Yeah, so yeah. So if we keep already there again, but before we started the season, a lot of people didn't think we're going to be close. We're going to be anything close to that. Why haven't we signed that Brazilian youngster? Hendrick, I don't know much. Again, the last time we heard about him was at the club. We were negotiating with his family, so not sure. Let's talk about again. I'll start with you, Roger. The case of N'Golo Kante. I know some people are thinking it's a bad thing that he had surgery. For me, I think it's actually good. Maybe the decision was to, go under the knife and deal with the situation once and for all, because usually. When you have a particular injury that reoccurs every now and then, you're better off, going under the knife to correct it once and for all. Because if you let it heal, it still comes back again if you haven't dealt with it properly. What do you think, Roger?
I totally agree, and this is what I've been saying for weeks: the lack of detail, specificity given to us by Premier League clubs compared to the NFL. Like we'll hear that player A here has a knee injury, but in the United States, in the NFL, they'll go down to the ligament detail, whether it's the anterior or the, there's the ACL. There's just multiple things that they will mention, and they go into the details so that you have a greater understanding and expectation of where that player or players are. Here, we've been told that he's got a hammy issue, but obviously it was I don't know whether we can put it in the same category as there's no such thing as a mild heart attack. There are heart attacks. Well, I'm not sure if there's no such thing as a mild tear, or is there? I don't know. I'm not a doctor and I don't even play one on TV, so I have no idea. But sorry, my alarm's going off. So basically, I wouldn't know where the status of his medical condition would be regarding that hamstring. It sounds like he's seen, an SME, a subject matter expert in that particular medical field, and they've had a mutual understanding that it's required. And I think he's doing the sensible thing. I really do. The only thing that scares me is the longer he's out, the greater possibility is that we may not retain him contractually. And
how about if the case again is that we were the one that advised him to do as such?
We are. It's mutual. So
if we advise him to do as such, which means we're looking at the possibility of correcting the issue and then giving him what he's asking, and then keeping him for at least 3 more years, because he's that good.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir, sir. Yes, he's our best player. Regardless of position, I believe he's our best player. Do you see what Stuart Robson said on ESPN FC regarding him? He was asked which country would be more affected. Would it be France or England with the loss of James or Kante? And he unequivocally stated that it's France, because Kante is the only player in his class playing in the midfield in world football. He's that good.
Yeah, you could argue again that his importance to both France and Chelsea, you could say, was the reason why we both, the France and Chelsea, we ran him to the ground practically. Again,
he's a difference maker. It's simple as that. And that is not, I'm not exaggerating, in that. I'm being honest here. I think if you ask a reasonable, intelligent Man U, Spurs, Arsenal, etc. fan, that they would all concur in saying he is the best in his position. I believe it's universally viewed him as such. I really do.
Yeah, he is. Let's look at this one here, which says again, this will be. Let's read this in detail. It says this will be again N'Golo Kante's worst season for injuries in his entire career. It comes as the talks are to renew a contract worth already $290 million a week. Here's what his injury again. To me, I think this fear. The problem may be fearing that after that injury he may not be the same again. To me, I think he comes back and again, and the injury will never become will never again repeat again as it did in the past. To me, I think this surgery is a solution, a permanent solution to that recurring hamstring injury, because it has always been hamstring for him.
Yes. Apparently, when you pull a hammy, it's a high probability of reoccurrence. And I've never pulled one, but I know of someone that has a hamstring injury that I used to work with, and he told me as such. And you hear that all the time in sports, regardless of the kind of sport it is. And, if it required surgery, then so be it. Then hopefully for the remainder of his professional career, this will hopefully rectify this medical condition he has.
Yeah, I think it will, and it's a good decision. He could have maybe just sit out and let it heal, but then it comes back again. Ochi, what do you think about the situation? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, honestly, like I've met Kante a few times. He's a very community-based person. He donates a lot to the mosques in Fulham. He gives his time. He has a wonderful family as well. So I do have a bit of bias there, to be honest. And I think regardless whether he is going to reduce in quality or not, we should still give him that contract. We should still keep him. But I do feel
the loyalty at least.
Thank you. This is the last one. After Aspi, I think this is the last time I'll ever say give him his loyalty payments. The money it balances out. He's won with us from the Champions League.
Exactly.
It's all good. It's all paid for. And I don't want to see him go to another club.
Ditto.
All of a sudden be playing super well. I'll be so hurt if he plays well for another club.
That would really sting. That could have been with us. That would sting. Just
really, him at PSG winning Champions League.
Oh, just remember, chaps, he's one League Cup trophy away from winning everything, just like Aspi is for us. He would be, in my opinion, and he probably is already, a club legend.
Oh, no, he is. There's no taking that away from him.
He would become only the second player to ever achieve that accomplishment. That is huge.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, to me, I've looked at it from so many angles, and I think it will only make sense to repay him again. Given how well he served at the club. I know that some people will come out and say it's sentiment. No, again, here's the thing: that these things, people do take record of it. Agents do, players do, and I know he's not the type to go and start whining about it, but some people will write about it. They've used them and dumped them because it's our fault, actually, no matter how people try to argue that. Every time, again, whenever he's injured, again, the moment he recovers slightly, we just pull him back in because of how important it is. I really do not want to get into that. I just feel like, again, I'm happy that he went under the knife. I think that solves the problem once and for all. If not, I don't think he'd take that option. He probably took that option because he wants to get it done and get over with it and move on with this game. And it's
in a World Cup year, don't forget.
Yeah.
In a World Cup year. We have to
in a World Cup year, again, that shows you how he's looked at it and decided, well, I think I just have to do this. And this guy himself, again, he falls into the category of Zlatan, what's his name, Modric. All these players, they're still playing out, even though how many of them have reached 40? Zlatan have reached 40. How old is let me just say they're in that category. They can still play well into their 40, but in this case, again, he has to readapt. Yeah, Silva too. He has to readapt his approach to the game, and I think if we sell him, just sell him, and then the next club finds a way to manage his fitness, and we will regret it again. And I think we're also creating a PR nightmare for ourselves, one that will be very difficult to sweep under the rug. and I don't want to see that happen really again. And it looks like you mentioned, because he's going to be out for a while. Something we've cried about here on occasions. Again, we get a false sense of security. After all, we can do without him. Let's let him go. And I found myself actually subscribing to that idea because we played well on occasions without him. We're good. There are some cases when you look at it, you say, we're missing him.
But we're a different team, coach, without him. We're completely.
Yeah, that's the truth. That remains the truth. I'm just saying something we've preached here again from a week ago. Actually, it's easy to jump to the conclusions we can do without him and get false sense of security because we played well in its absence, and boom, it will be easier to let him go. IBC, how are you doing, brother?
Big up, big up. Yes.
Big up. Nice to have you on the panel again. We have two shows scheduled this morning. This one ends in about 1 hour, 30 minutes, and then we'll take a break and get on to the other one so that it will be easier for those, again, who aren't part of the show to watch it later. So, IBC, I want to get your thoughts on the situation of N'Golo Kante. I don't know if you want to talk about whether you think it was, again, a good idea for him to go under the knife. If that helps solve the situation permanently. If he recovers it, again, it will not be repeating. To me, I think that's okay. And what do you think, you?
With N'Golo Kante, what a man. Unfortunate for him, he finds himself in a situation where his injury has taken the better of him in a year where it's very big for him in terms of World Cup, getting back with Chelsea, and he's had massive setbacks. What we have to do is just accept this is the situation. I feel this is the best course of action. He may have had this option but refused previously, and now we're at the stage where this is it. It's got to be done for it to not have a long-term effect in the future. I believe he may retire from international football to focus on club football, which will be very sad because he would have wanted to obviously be part of this last World Cup squad. So I believe it's the right situation, the right thing for him to do. To sell him or to let him go for free is a very difficult one. And it's very hard to say. We all know that, he's very influential for us. We have, whether we like it or not, we have played without N'Golo Kante for a long time now. Even though he's been in and out of the squad, say, a game or so, but we've placed our whole fury without N'Golo Kante, and maybe going forward, that is how they'll be planning without an N'Golo Kante. So maybe bringing in another player in January. It is looking like, and it may be subject to how fast he recovers, how he comes back into the team. But when you did mention we're used to the fact of N'Golo not playing, so we can sell him. I can understand where that may come from, because we are in a situation where we're dealing with him without him. Sorry, we're dealing without him. We're getting on with things without him. The way we are playing is without an N'Golo Kante. When we were losing, when we were winning, is without an N'Golo Kante. So we have to monitor to see if he comes back into fitness on time, properly, before we can make that decision again. And it's unfortunate, but that is where we are. We are a team without N'Golo Kante right now. We've played football, we've won games, we've lost games without him. So we are dealing without N'Golo Kante, whether we like it or not. So depending on whether he stays fit or not, or he comes back in time to make an appearance before the end of the season, that should be subject to if we give him another extension. Because it is what it is, isn't it? We can't say, oh, we're missing him if the guy's out for 4 months. It's either we get rid of him, which is obviously a heartbreak for everyone, or we keep him based on the love and sentiment we have for him and give him a deal he will feel happy with. It's really hard. But what can I say? The surgery right now is the best thing you can do. Get this situation under the knife. let them find the tissue or the meat that's causing this rubbish, sort it out so that you'll be able to go on for a bit longer. Because at your age, if you're having these types of injury, it don't bode well for longevity in the game. If you want to pair with the likes of Modric, still running, Sergio Busquets, so that's where I'm at with N'Golo. I really hope he does recover, but it's subject to his fitness, and we are where we are.
I'm thinking after the surgery, and if he ends up again eventually retires from international football, I think the club will look to keep him because now there's less chances of the injuries occurring again, because Deschamps hasn't handled it again. He's just whatever. He doesn't care if it's broken a leg or an arm. He just calls them up and throws them into the fold. I think if he retires,
I wouldn't want to blame. I wouldn't want to start pointing the fingers of this managers to blame. And at the end of the day, maybe
Kante.
Let's just keep it a buck. He's playing at Chelsea majority of the time. So if you want to shift blame, it will be shift blame to the way our department have handled his intensity of football, knowing that he has a record of injuries, being ignorant to the fact that we should play him, knowing that we need him without bringing in someone that can mold or be in another form of N'Golo Kante. So, I wouldn't want to put blame around, it is what it is. N'Golo maybe is an injury. I wouldn't say he's injury prone player. He never was injured before he came to England like this. So yeah, I would only amount it to the amount of games he's been played without any rest, doing another man's job in probably Jorginho, doing two man's job. We have players say before, it's like having two N'Golo Kantes on the pitch. So he's probably doing two man's job just by default, because that's who he is. He just likes to run around, but it's not work. It's not sufficing, So I wouldn't want to shift blame. All I want to do is see N'Golo go through the surgery. The big decision will be if he retires from international football, I see more of a chance of him staying. Albeit, I do see, if I was to compare him and Jorginho, I see Jorginho staying more than I do Kante, unfortunately. Just because of the game time that Jorginho has to offer than N'Golo Kante. But albeit, they can both leave for free. Who knows?
Yeah, I actually believe that the longer it continues, I'd have to say that I see Jorginho's chances of staying increasing week by week.
Yeah, here's the thing. We'll get to Jorginho, but I don't think Jorginho stays either, and I'll tell you why when we get to that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Okay, so but IBC, Roger, were you still saying something? Sorry.
No, I'm fine.
All right,
Let's
thank
talk
you
about
again.
J5.
Why again? Sorry, OG?
I said, yeah, let's move on to J5.
Okay, just in a bit, just give me 1 second. Again, why haven't we signed, again, that Brazilian kid? We talked about it. I'm not sure what's going on there. Again, RIP Kante's career. He's a Chelsea goat, mate. Again, that doesn't change. Nobody can take that away from him. If there's one player we need from Arsenal, it would be Odegaard. Again, he can provide a killer pass if needed. And Chelsea need a creative midfielder. Well, again, we see things from different lenses. I think otherwise, but again, you have every reason to argue that. Again, 2 years with the option of a third for Kante, or do I expect him to leave for PSG? Are you that serious? Can you elaborate on that? I'd really would like to hear why you said that. Again, if Kante, it will be really sad to see Kante leave. But if the situation regarding his injuries doesn't improve, then again, it's best that we let him go. Again, I want Everton to end again on a good note. We can give him 2+1, 3+1, and then decide to sell him the next year. Let it again. I don't want it to end on a very bad note. Like I said, it creates a PR again. A very bad PR situation or nightmare for Chelsea, and it's not going to be easy to deal with because you're talking about N'Golo Kante. You can say an exemplary professional, never again complains and all that. And the last club photo we took is the only time I haven't seen him smiling in the photo. Go check it out. Honestly, that's me again speculating. Yep. Again, I understand that. Again, please, people, keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the support. I cannot thank you enough. Now Chelsea have three again that will miss out on the World Cup of Fofana, James, and Kante. And just aside, Fofana in this case probably may have. I don't think not this World Cup.
I think Fofana would have made this World Cup.
Yeah,
he would have made
they're
it.
loaded. Yeah, they're loaded in that area really. Probably after next season or next season, I think he gets a France call up. But that's by the way. Again, IBC. Before we move on, I want to get your thoughts on the rumors again, linking us to this brother right here. Again, do you think it's never gonna happen? To me, I say no, and I think OG thinks no, and Roger thinks no too.
Sorry. Yeah, man. How are we getting Arsenal's prized possession? How are we going to get Arsenal's most prized possession? Their very own. How does that happen? Can Arsenal come and buy Reece James? Can Tottenham get Reece James?
Yeah, that's a good example to use. Go ahead.
How are we going to take their prized asset? This is their own very own Bukoya Saka. Like
bite your tongue, sir.
I listen. This will be worse than Sol Campbell leaving from Tottenham to Arsenal.
Exactly. I said that, brother.
He will be number one at his age. let me just paint a scenario.
Vilified.
I'm Bukoya Saka, and I say, I'm going to Chelsea. What's my ambitions at Chelsea that I can't have at Arsenal? I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yes, Chelsea have, in comparison to us, you know, they win trophies, especially in the past 10 to 15 years. The trophies has been immaculate. But what project is stopping me at Arsenal that I will find at Chelsea? I do not see Bukayo Saka leaving Arsenal saying can you imagine his press conference? Yeah, I wanted to win trophies, or I knew that this is a big club. It doesn't make sense. With Arsenal in their own pride will not. The Emirates will fall before we see Saka leave for Chelsea. That's just pull it at that, man. The guy ain't coming, man. I don't know where that had come. I know Bowley. I heard things like that. I just Ray Charles did. Like what? That is what? Do you think that's gonna happen, Coach?
No. We're here to talk about it because it's out there. Even Fabrizio Romano did talk about it. That we're monitoring the situation. That's one player we will monitor till the end of the world, and it's not going to happen.
It won't. It's over. It's never happening. The mockery. Arsenal fans will hide in shame. They will not. It will be good though. The beef, the intent, the rivalry will intense. It will
intensify. Yeah.
It will intensify like no other. Like Liverpool's rivalry. Like Liverpool,
but it's not going to happen.
City, but it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, we have more of a chance getting Gabriel or I don't know, Partey than we do have Bukayo Saka. That is their very own, and he's English. He's an English Arsenal product, like Emil Smith Rowe. Never.
I don't think it will happen. Here we have again now Chelsea I think I've read that one, and it's Kami says again. I asked him to justify why he says that Kante will most likely join PSG. PSG just makes more sense. Again, I understand that now France is home for him. It's a far less a physical league, meaning again he can play at the top. Plus, France is home for him, like I said, for 4 or 5 years. Again, Champions League football every year guaranteed. Again, starter. Again, to make the World Cup. Again, I agree with you there. Again, as well as a big payday, he gets a lot of money, which is why I think it will be actually difficult for Chelsea to keep him. But we have to find a way to make it, and again, to end on a good note. Find a solution to that. I don't want to leave him feeling used and dumped. I think it will be bad. The Queen of the House, just says, big up Kachila, Pana, big up to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join us to help keep the house clean. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for that. Hi, everyone in the chat. And again, you should watch highlights of our under 21s again versus Leighton. Orient. Omari Hutchinson was absolutely amazing. Again, we have already signed a baller for our academy from Arsenal who could potentially be better. Yep, again, that's a chance that's the case. And again, I'm glad we have Omari Hutchinson. We just have to talk about this, given, again, the club we're being linked with signing the player. Again, here we have, again, hello, Kachila and panel. Chama Joseph Dalo. Again, thank you for finding the time to join us. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate that. Again, up the Charles. Big up again at the panel. You meet again, you men at the best balance. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for finding the time to join us. Santiago Mono, again, morning, Kachila panel and chat. Morning to you too, brother. Again, I appreciate you finding the time to join the chat. Let's see what else we have lined up here. A few of them. It looks like my screen isn't easy to use. A new system at that. Again, that really sucks. We have this one here. Okay, what is going on here? Sorry, it's a dark screen anyway, but it will show up a bit. Let me give it a second. Give it a second. I'm really excited for Omari Hutchinson. I hope that happens. Yeah. And this one also makes sense. This is, again, you can say a sensible way to put it here. It says it's very difficult to answer that question. Rumors, indeed. So that, again, we will have to wait until after the World Cup. Leandro Trossard said, again, when asked about Chelsea, important, Trossard deal with Brighton expires in 2023, but Brighton, Hove and Albion have an option to extend contract until 2024. So let's not get ahead of our heads. And I didn't even know they have an option to extend his contract. But even at that, extending it to 2024, it would be just one more year. Which means, again, he will still come on the cheap. He's a player I would like to see. Again, he's good. Plus, he's played on the ground, Potter. I think he's done well. Again, his numbers in the Premier League, you can say it's good enough to play for Chelsea. I think so. What do you think, Roger?
Yeah, no, I was wondering about what Potter would think about him. I believe there's a strong possibility that he could, in fact, come to Chelsea, whether it's next year or the year after. Mm-hmm. He's from Belgium, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, he is. They signed him from Genk.
Yeah, okay, Genk. Isn't that where De Bruyne came from? I can't recall now.
We signed a few players there. I don't remember who and who exactly.
I like him. I'm not sure whether this sounds really arrogant, and I don't mean it as such, but is he really Chelsea worthy? And I mean that in the
I think he is. He's one of those players when Brighton play the top you said top guns or big clubs. He's one of those that stands out. He's never you could say he's never overwhelmed by the occasion, the size of the occasion. He always shows up. For instance, the last big game performance for him was scoring a hat-trick against Liverpool. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he the one? But go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I believe it was in Liverpool. It was in Anfield too, which is rare for an opposing player to get a hat trick.
True.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is since Potter knows him as an individual, because you look at a player and say, do we want him? Do we need him? But you also have to understand what type of individual is he? Is he motivated? Is he divisive, etc.? So obviously, if Potter says yes, that means that he endorses him as an individual as well as a technical player. Mm-hmm. So that's a big plus also, because he could be a good leader. There's a myriad of things that would encompass a player being a good team player. And so if Potter does endorse him, that bodes well.
True.
Yeah, just quickly, let me catch up with the chat again.
I do have to go. I've got to log in 5 minutes to work, so that's my two takes.
Go ahead. If you want to say something before you leave, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if he carries on playing well, in the season, he improves, the numbers get better, we're not going to be the only club interested. And then when that happens, I think will you push to get him in the summer.
Especially after the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to the World Cup as well, right? So if he impresses throughout the season, then I see him ended up wearing full blue. Not blue and white, just pure blue.
Yeah, and go ahead, bro. Don't forget to share the link to your channel
take
again.
care, guys. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat as well.
All right, OG, big up yourself, bro.
Yeah,
big up yourself,
hold up me later, Riggs, man. Join me in something. Take care, guys.
Have a good day.
Guys, until next time.
All right, brother.
You too.
Enjoy
Take care,
the day.
Roger. Take care, coach.
Cheers. Okay, here again, Chama's just saying hi, and with that, and my friend again, a true City fan. Big up, panel. Big up to you too, brother. Again, I'll reach out to you soon. I think I want to do a collab with you on the other channel. Again, I hope you'd have the time to join us. Again, more importantly, I hope you're good, brother. Nice to see you here. Thanks for finding the time to join. Thanks so much. That means a lot to me. Again, if you're a City fan, again, go check out his YouTube channel. Again, this true City fan, be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. There's a higher chance of getting Mbappe again than getting Saka. Yeah, because Mbappe in his case, again, it's just about money. Again, you could say we're big rivals in the European stage, but not in England. So getting him, if we're able to pay the money and be able to afford, if we can afford his salary, then we can get him. So that's another good way to put it. But again, I like the one IBZ said. It's just like selling Reece James to Arsenal. That's never going to happen in a zillion years, if you prefer. Chama says again, my YouTube keeps switching off, even though I have internet. Oh, sorry to hear that. Those things happen every now and then. You should try me last week. My internet, my internet connection. Yeah. Again, here we have again. Trossard will be free next summer, and if you pay attention to what we have on the screen, they have an option to extend the contract until 2024. But I think they go for the option of just extend it and just sell him. I don't think they'd risk extend and keeping him. But then again, you have to recognize again after the World Cup there will be many clubs vying for his signature. So it's not going to be that easy. Even though we have an upper hand given that he's played underground Porter, but that's no guarantee that he joins us. Again, remember we're going to end this show. I'm not sure when. Again, we're 1 hour into it, maybe 20 minutes
Coach,
more.
I'll be back in a bit myself.
All right, no problem, bro. Maybe in about in about 20 minutes again, and take a bit of break before we start the predictor lineup show / match preview. Let me see what we have here. Chama says again, 65 people watching versus 29 likes. We can do better than that. Yes, people, keep liking the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And here Chama says again, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please do that. Thank you so much, guys. Come on, people, smash the like button. Keep doing that to help us reach more people. Comparing Mbappe to Saka is out of it. Again, Mbappe is better, I think. I think he's, at this point, he's better and older. So Saka himself has the potential, you can say, to get to that level. To me, I don't want to get to that argument, but I know who I think really is better than the other. But I'm not here to argue that. Again, here's my brother, CFC OGs, the link to his YouTube channel. Please go check it out. It's a channel you will love so much. Great content, always bringing in some, again, interesting panelists there. An enjoyable show to watch all the time. Thank you very much. Again, I'm going to come back to you, Roger. Again, let's see. Let's get what Tobago is on the panel with us. I want to get his ID and what he thinks about the Trossard situation, for the fact they have an option to extend it, his contract to 2024. So it's not going to come as on a free like I thought before. But what do you think, really?
Who are you referring to, sir?
I'm talking about Tobago.
Okay.
Oh, big up, guys. How are you?
Yeah, big up, brother. How are you doing, man?
Hello.
I'm good, thanks. To be honest.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Yeah. With Trossard, I think it's an opportunity for us that we can use to get him, due to he's a former player of Graham Potter, and then he has brilliant stats while Graham Potter was his coach. I know he's also scoring goals for fun at the moment, but again, if you want him at Chelsea, Graham Potter is the man to persuade him to come to Chelsea. And I know it won't be cheap, but I don't think it will be more than 30 euros to get him at the moment. So if Chelsea want Trossard, let's go for him, because to be honest, to challenge for every trophy, we need good players. We need a huge squad. I don't want that thing saying, "Oh, where Pulisic will play, where CH will play." I don't care where will they play, as long as we're winning games.
Yeah, as long as we're winning games, that's the most important thing. Again, I think Trossard will will be a good addition to the team. I think he's proven, again, his Premier League proven. Well, I know quite well that that's no guarantee that player, if they switch club, that they do as well as they're doing in their current current club. So, but again, it's what I think we should get him if he's going to come that cheap. I don't want to get into the argument whether he's better than what we have already. Would do better than player A, B, C, and D. That's by the way. Anyway, again, let's see. Again, I'm also hearing the rumors regarding Jonathan David that he wants him. I'm not sure. Again, did you hear anything about that, Roger?
No, I haven't.
I think it's out there quite a lot. I just don't see anything serious regarding the club's pursuit of the player. But again, DJ would know because he's a player he loves so much and probably will be well aware whether we're interested in signing the player or not. Again, here, let me see what we have here. There will be, again, a fierce competition for Trossard's signature. But if Potter comes calling, that should hopefully be the deciding factor. I think we have an upper. You could say we have an upper hand, given that he's worked under Potter, and you can say he's played his best football under Graham Potter. Yeah, go ahead. Were you saying something?
Proud Mickey Mount hater.
Oh yeah, the name. Yeah, I don't like reading his name, but he has every right to bear whatever name he thinks. Again, to go by whatever name he feels like it's okay. But that's, by the way, let me see what else we have to look at here, and then we'll move on. And I'll wait to see if there's any update. If you have any question, again, we have. If you look at the chat, I think you'd see hit the plus sign. You'd see an option to ask a question, and we'll try to address the question for you. So yeah, I'll wait to see if you have any question. Yes.
What do you think about Jonathan David?
I like him, really. I like him. He's a hybrid striker. Again, he's a fine finisher too. Again, I think he'd do well in our team.
Yeah, I had an argument with someone yesterday. He was saying Jonathan David won't do well at Chelsea or in the Premier League. I was like, no, man. You need to look at this kid. Because he wants certain players, and then you think Jonathan David won't be successful at Chelsea. And this kid, 2 years ago, he was leading Lille to win the league for Lille, I mean, when they beat PSG to win the league. And he's still 22. So he's still a lot of room for improvement. Also, his market value is lower than likes of Osimhen, Vlahovic and stuff. And we should be careful on signing strikers with huge money after what happened to Lukaku and stuff, especially with Chelsea. When you sign a player with a huge fee, there's high chances they will flop. So we should be careful.
Yeah, probably because we're now hearing numbers, and again, like in the hundreds of millions. That's why Chelsea players aren't taking him seriously. He's that good. It would have been again a perfect signing for Thomas Tuchel again. It will be a perfect signing for Graham Potter because you can say Jonathan David. You can call him a hybrid forward. He's able to play centrally, drift to the right or left, and he's a fine finisher on his day. But again, there's that stereotype. People don't see Canadians and Americans as fine footballers. Some would deny that's not the case, but I really do think, again, I really do think that that's the case, really. But that's, by the way, again, there will be, again, a fierce competition. Yep, I've read that one there, and that's just the truth. Again, it's not just going to be us by the time the World Cup ends. Let's see what we have here. Jafta again says Mbappe will bring his bag of arrogance with him to Chelsea. Chelsea isn't a one-man show. Rather, go for someone else. I'm not even sure we're going for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if the new owners are willing, to pay the asking price, get him, and also you can say again, I'll be able to pay his salaries because his commercial value, like I forgot the term that Roger used when he talked about his commercial value. I think he's used the term humongous. Correct me if I'm wrong, Roger. I think you make your money, but so the biggest question is again, will he work at Chelsea? And again, that I cannot get into that. But he's a fine player. But I strongly believe if he leaves a PSG for any other club, I think his attitude changes because it recognizes not at home anymore. He's going to where it's about again the team, not just him. And PSG unfortunately has made it all about him. So and that's difficult to correct right now. People call him the president of PSG and all that. Trossard plays in the position that I thought Potter would play Sterling in that left wing back role. Maybe he'd be able to fulfill it better. Again, I think he'd be able to fulfill it better than Raheem Sterling would because it has done it because he's played there for Potter and all the while he's done quite well playing from that position. Again, but that's by the way, again, Jonathan David gets called the Canadian R7 by Lille fans. He's that good, but unfortunately, because we're not hearing like 180, we're not hearing like 100 million, 60 million, 70 million. I don't think a lot of Chelsea fans would take him seriously. Again, if you haven't, take a second to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we'll have a few minutes around of this particular show because we have again our predicted lineup show / match preview. Again, we want to break it into two so that it makes it easier to whoever didn't get to watch the show will get to watch them. Again, Chelsea need a striker like Mbappe who aims higher. I get what you're saying. Again, Kabinga Joel, but again, I still don't think we need them. But the whole thing comes down to what the owners want to do and what Graham Potter wants. We can talk about Mbappe from here to the coming year, and it doesn't change anything. Here's my brother again. Hi, brother. Big up to you too. Hopefully we win again today. Again, I'm looking forward to us. Again, I do believe we'll win this one. It's not going to be easy, but I hope we'll win it. I hope Graham Potter makes the right selection. Last time we were lucky. It will not be like that forever again. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show, Almighty Blues FC. Please take some time to go check out its YouTube channel, and believe me, you will like it and will thank me later. So thank you. Keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's talk about, again, Dennis Zakaria. Yes, Graham Potter has come out to say the player, again, I think you could say he will get his opportunity. It's not over for him. He walks well. He trains very well and all that. But to me, I still say it's not looking good for him. And here he says, Graham Potter again on Dennis Zakaria. Dennis has conducted himself fantastically well with the group. He's fighting for the team. He's been really professional in training, and he's waiting for his opportunity. To me, I still do think, it's not looking good. We've talked about that before, but again, it's everywhere right now. There's also a rumor out there which says that Potter he's already made up his mind to let him go. That he doesn't want him. But I think him there being again, he remaining with us is just because it's a contract, and at least they don't have the option to take him back until January. I'm gonna get your thoughts, Roger.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? I watched his news conference yesterday, and if you're listening to Potter, you would never get the impression that Zakaria has been on the bench or has not been in the squad and never played for us. He sounded, when asked that question, what is Zakaria's future? I was quite deceived by him. He spoke very positively about him, and asked about his future. He didn't say, no, I don't believe he has a future. Not that he would come outright. I
was gonna come at you with that question immediately.
Yeah, of course. No.
Even if that's the case, he will never do that in public.
Of course, Potter is a gentleman also, and he's cerebral, and he understands relationships. But when I say deceiving, maybe that's too strong a term. But he was outwardly emphasizing the fact that he was very positive about him, when in essence, that doesn't appear to be the case. That's all I want to say. You know, it was somewhat deceiving. Let's leave it at that. From how I perceived his answer to the question, which I was paraphrasing, obviously. Does that make sense to you? Because it didn't seem like Zakaria was on the bench and not even getting a sniff at even 3 minutes towards the end of a game. You know, you didn't get that impression, did you? So
no, I didn't. And nothing. You can say nothing from his statement gives you the vibes. Oh, okay. He just said that he will get his chance. Nothing close to that, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to play poker with Potter. He's got a good game face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that.
I could have 4 aces and I would fold by the looks of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so, I agree with you. Again, it's not looking good for him. But here's the thing: I still think that probably there's a chance. Again, he gets to play again in a cup game. But that's to him. I think he expected more. He expected to be starting games in the Premier League and the Champions League and all that. If that happens again, I'll take it because I think he's a good player and has something to offer. But I'm still going to repeat what I've said again a million times on this channel. That Graham Potter isn't the one to play with what we call traditional DMs. Yeah. Even when he plays what we call 260s, he rather prefers, again, if we're going to identify them by letters, we call it CM, central midfielders, not any player that's defensively minded. He finds a way, to structure and deploy his team that they mask the lack of defensive capabilities of those two central midfielders. But that's why, yes, I get you. I get you what you mean there. Let me catch up on what we have in the chat. I'll come back again and then we'll continue. Hi, Kate again. Trossard is a good pick, in my opinion. Only thing we don't know is the killer mentality needed at a top club like us. Again, Potter will know that being an emotional intelligence master, hopefully, I think he already understands the player very well. And we're talking about a player also, whenever Brighton have played, again, since he's joined them, the big boys, he's one of those standout players. And even before that performance against Liverpool, we knew what he's capable of doing. We've talked about him, the possibility of him joining Chelsea. And again, forget the recent interview. The interview again before, he practically said, Chelsea, come and get me. He practically said that. So, but now he's been a bit more cautious with his comment. Probably, again, that's a chance he joins another club. After the World Cup and all that. But I think he'll be a good addition to our team. He's not one to be overwhelmed by the size of the occasion. He always underperforming. And that's very common with Belgians. They're usually very confident. Let me see.
Go ahead. As long as he's clinical, because let's face it, all we've ever talked about for the last couple of millennia is the fact that we have talent. If you look at our roster, if you look at the squad up front, I'm talking about, well, even from the midfield and defense, they're very good individual players and team players. But what we lack is being clinical. This is the number one observation that I've made over the last X amount of years is we're creating so many chances and yet we are not executing them. So Trossard is clinical from what I've seen anyway. So this is what we need. This is the main criteria for me. Obviously, other than the individual as a person in the locker room, is can you put the ball in the back of the net? That's what matters to me right now.
Yeah, I think he's a fine finisher. And if he plays at the club where he'd have, a much more talented squad, surrounded by a much more talented crop of players, I think he'd do even better.
Exactly.
Let me catch up with what we have in the chat. I'll come back again. We will continue where we stopped. Here we have, 52 watching, again 36 likes. Come on, people, we can do better than that. Preach it, brother, preach it. And again, don't forget to check out Almighty Blues FC. That's my brother's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Getting the feeling Zakaria was a Tuchel target. I think that's clear. People throwing around the notion that this signings in the summer were for Potter. Don't believe it. Maybe again, maybe in the case of Zakaria, yes. But there are some, possibly Kukurea there's a chance he's for Porter signing. But again, even if Tuchel called for certain players to sign, Todd Boehly and co, they work with numbers. If they look at their numbers and decide this player is good enough, they'd still sign them, believing that any manager could work with them anytime, any day. So that may well be the case. Chelsea deadline day signing over the years have been so good. So you're saying we should give him a chance. You never know. Again, I'm not giving up yet, but to me, from as an outsider, I'd say it's not really looking good for him. Remember on deadline day, we wanted Edson Alvarez. Again, it seems Zakaria was the last minute option. Yep, he was the last minute option given inability to sign Alvarez. Here again, the last deadline day signing, in my opinion, that was good overall, with some criticism for sure, where Alonso and David Luiz re-signed. If I remember rightly, I think you're correct. Both signed on deadline. David Luiz re-signed, not his first coming. To be honest, again, there was no need to let go Ampadu and bring in Zakaria. That comes down to Thomas Tuchel. Probably he was the one again that decided maybe Ampadu needed to go out on loan. I think we should have kept him. He can play again the defensive midfield role if we want him. But then again, he can also lead the back three. Even Thomas Tuchel confessed then how good he was at doing that. He can pick up a pass from the defense to the attacking area. He's that good. Why we let him go? I just don't know. Please remember, subscribe, and share the stream. Yes, people, please do that to help us reach more people. Thank you so much again. We'll be ending this particular show soon. I'll take about 20 minutes break to start the other one. Let's see what we have here. I think, again, Almighty Blues show. Again, those were good. To be honest, they were. But that's, by the way, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about right now. I think we should go get ready for the other show. If you have any question, please, again, shoot it there in the chat. We will try to address it. Let me see. I don't see anything else. We'll talk about Jorginho. We haven't actually. Let's talk about him again. I think the club probably by now will realize how difficult it will be to keep Jorginho for other reasons. And I also did watch a video from the Green Top YouTube channel. I think you can go check it out too, where he talked about how it will be difficult for Jorginho to accept any salary lower than what the club paying Sazas, Plequeta, and other players too. He's seen again who are of the same age. Koulibaly too will be I think is earning nearly twice as much as him right now. Aubameyang, really? The same thing. Yeah, I think nearly twice as much, just to be safe, but more than most definitely more than he's earning. I think so. I think he's on 120 right now. I'm hearing. So he's good. He's not that old. And again, plus again, he'd be a good addition to clubs such as Juventus and Barcelona want him. Let's be honest about that, because Busquets, he's done practically. And Jorginho, again, you could say Barcelona way of playing is in his DNA, is embedded in his DNA. They will welcome the opportunity to sign him. And Laporta himself, who said publicly, I think I first heard that from Lolo, one of the community members here, saying it looks like we're looking at Chelsea players again. And publicly, Laporta said they're looking to sign some players on a free in January. And to me, I think that player we're hearing includes N'Golo Kante and Jorginho. What do you think? Why do you think we'd be able to keep him, really?
I don't know, but you did mention Barcelona. And when I think of Jorginho and Barcelona, their playing styles are so synonymous with each other. He would be a perfect fit for Barca. He really would. It's not as physical a league as the Premier League. And B, the style. And Xavi, who was a true great player. I mean, let's use that term realistically. I think he would appreciate his style. Yes, he does have some physical deficiencies, but they won't be as telling in that league. Do I believe that we can retain him? I think it's increasing. The possibility, no matter how small, is increasing week by week based on the fact that Kante is, let's be honest, it's a serious injury. Anything that you require surgery is not minor. So, and also, you have to admit, Jorginho has maintained a relatively healthy career with us. I don't believe he's missed any. Well, I'm trying to think. Is he really been injured for any significant amount of time? I don't believe so. He just had knocks. I mean, which is the norm for a professional football player. So, I'm not his biggest fan, but there is a noticeable difference with regards to how he progressed the ball. Yes, I know he does pass laterally and backwards often, but guess what? We do maintain the ball. We do maintain possession for the most part. And he does have a few faux pas in him, but I actually wouldn't mind retaining him unless
I think
Kante
Potter wouldn't
improves.
either, but it's not easy. As much as even many players are praying that it happens, it
Yeah,
probably won't happen.
do you believe it's fine? Because we don't have a hard salary cap in the Premier League. I know there's FFP, financial fair play, but that's really not. It's ridiculous. There should be a hard salary cap like they do in the NFL, but we don't have that here. So therefore, we have owners that I don't believe are frugal in that regard. I don't think that paying him X amount compared to his salary, which is Y amount, would be an issue, from what I can tell. I think it would be performance-based, which seems to be the case with previous contracts with this new regime. So, yeah, I think there's it's a small possibility of us retaining him because of the fact that, as you've stated before, if we do let him go, he would want that. He would get a huge signing bonus immediately.
Yeah, that makes it even more difficult for him to accept anything less from us.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I still think that we could sweeten the pie with him if Potter deems he is not surplus to requirements. That's what I believe. The percentage of us retaining him, I don't know, small. I'd say less than 50-50 by far. But it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but it's difficult. Again, it depends on how important he is to Porter, or how important Porter believes he is to how he wants to play the game. It's not easy. I still think he's more likely to leave than stay. Even the same thing with N'Golo Kante. You'd have to pay them something out of this world for them to forfeit the fact that they will get more money as a sign-on fee if they get to leave on a free, which by January they're allowed to talk to clubs. So it becomes even more difficult because then they have a good understanding of what clubs are willing to offer them. So I hope we sort it out as soon as possible if the manager really wants him to stay. Yes, please subscribe to Jump Out Entertainment's YouTube channel. And here is the link to his channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's support him. Here we have, let's get the likes up, guys. We're at 40 likes. We can do better than that. Again, condescending, again, that it's time we buy a player from Arsenal. We win a major title. So Saka might not be a bad signing. But I don't think he's leaving Arsenal. I would think the same too, but it's just important we talk about it. Again, yes, then it's not that easy. We just have to. But I think if the club gets a chance to sign him, I think they sign him. But one more thing I want to say is this. Again, we've also seen a situation where if we get a manager that has a player that's worked under our manager before, we usually win trophies too. I hope that happens in the case of Trossard. We get him, he helps us win one trophy or the other. I hope Barcelona again take him. Jorginho is free to leave if he wants a pay rise. I doubt any other club will pay him the amount he wants. For Chelsea, he's been a liability for a while now. And no matter how you see it, again, we still seem to struggle to control games. We struggle to control games whenever he isn't playing. So, and I'm saying Porter may well want him to stay, but it's not gonna happen. He's likely to leave on a free. J5, well, what the money he's looking for, and should get a new contract, in my opinion. I think he should get one too. He's still on the contract that he joined us with. Again, at the Villa game, and see how he took control of our midfield when he came on. And he applies himself differently on the ground, Potter. But unfortunately, most people are not paying attention to that. It's just, again, his deficiencies is what stands out for them. But I get the argument. I don't blame anybody because we see things from different lenses. Jorginho had hip pain last season and played through it because many players were injured. And you hardly hear a lot of people talk about it. That's how, again, they just not willing to look beyond Jorginho's, again, deficiencies to accept the fact that he's a good player and look at what he does for the club, unfortunately for him. You wanted to say something, Roger?
No, sure. I criticize him often, but you have to recognize what his positive attributes are, and there are plenty. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty. Do I want him starting? Generally speaking, no. But what does he bring? As I said before, there's that video of him and Koulibaly. Have you seen that? It's like a 10-minute video, and they're talking about a football video game, he's amazing, him and Koulibaly. You can see what he brings to the team as a person, an individual, but also what he brings to on the field. Does he have detractors in that regard? Yes. But does he have positives? Of course he does. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a professional football player. So yeah, you have to be honest with a person's assessment, regardless of your, shall we say, persuasion of how you view him. No matter, I don't dislike anyone. I'm just logical in how I view them. That's all I try to do. But yeah, you're right about that. I do believe that he does bring many positive attributes to the team and in the midfield.
Yeah, unfortunately, we all cannot see that again, and I totally understand how. Again, for me, Jorginho has again a Marmite, a type of player. Really,
yes.
Again, you either like him or you don't. It's as simple as that. He's one of those players that divide again the Chelsea fan base. Again, wow, the most. It is him. It was Alonso, Timo Werner again, and some other players have been there, but I think him the most at this point. He has that title. Live chat is not refreshing for me. Again, probably internet, I understand. Again, if you haven't, please do take a second to like the stream. We'll be ending this one, and we take about 10, 11 minutes before the other show starts, where we do, again, the predicted lineup show and also a review of the Brentford versus Chelsea game. Again, thank you so much. Let's round up by talking about Kovacic, Roger. Again, next year, again, the coming year, he'd have a year left on his 2 years left on his contract. I think it's also a risk to leave it for after the World Cup, because the way things are going for him, he's not been in the best of form of late, which means, again, if the slightest of chances he gets, he'd be looking to move on to maybe find someone else he'd do better.
When you said the second year, 2 years left, are you including this season?
Yeah, and that's the coming year. Let me just look at it to be sure. But again, why you wait for me? It looks like we're gonna have that a contract conundrum we had last season.
Yeah,
it looks like it's gonna happen again soon.
Yeah, they need to be staggered. I value him as a player. I really do. You know how I feel about him. I think from the first day I saw him when we had him on loan from Real Madrid, I was like, wow, you would actually send that type of quality player on loan. You must be deep. I think he's been an amazing player for Chelsea.
And he is in his prime right now.
Yes. Could you say he's not been on form? I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
No, we've not seen his best of form. That was a term I used.
I apologize.
Yeah.
My only critique of him is the lack of production in
terms
scoring.
of shooting.
Yeah, scoring. Period. He's not clinical. Other than that, he reads the game well. He passes well. He's excellent. But he's shooting. Yes, he had that one goal, that great goal. Do you remember against Liverpool? I believe it was him when that volley he scored. You give him that same instance 100 times, he only gets it once. He's just not clinical, bless him. But from what he's paid to do, he does it very well.
You could say his strongest suit isn't the chance creation and all that.
Yes.
But like I've often said, he's the only guy that plays when every other person on the team cannot play against teams that press us aggressively or that gang up on us. he still plays because he's capable of dribbling his way out of tight spaces
Yes.
and also progressing the ball no matter how deep the opposition play and all that. And
Also,
I think
he
we
challenges
recognize it.
his
Plus,
his tackling.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
like his tackling. He's an aggressive tackler, not dirty. Please don't.
Yeah, he's a better tackler than he is actually in terms of reading the game.
Yes, he's very good. Don't conflate the two. For dirty being hard, he's a hard tackler. He's not scared to go in, as we would say when I was young, stick the boot in. He's a really good player, and he's technical. His first touch is obviously you don't get to play for for Real Madrid and not be technical. Period. End of story. He's a technical player. I rate him high. Would I like to retain him? Yes.
Yeah, I would. Again, I think would keep him. We're talking about a player who's won 4 Club World Cups, 4 UEFA Champions League.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
What trophy is the other one I'm looking at? 1 Europa Cup, 3. I think that's the Super Cup. Quite a lot.
But the Champions League finals, he never played a minute in them, which is a bit sad.
And that's at Madrid.
Yes, yeah, at Madrid. But then again, who does? I mean, they're Galacticos everywhere. I mean, they're probably their water boys are Galacticos. You know, come on. I mean, that's a supreme upper echelon team. But yeah, I rate him highly. I think he's worthy of staying.
No, I don't think we'd let him go either because if again that mentality, what he's won already. Again, you could say defines his mentality. He would want to win more because when you have a player that's won that much, they always want to win more. They don't want to stop. And again, you can see he's a player, a big game player too. Again, when everyone else in the team isn't playing, he's always play. He still plays. The only time he's underperforms is if he's injured or something like that. Go ahead.
Him and Kante together are a solid duo for double
they
sixes.
Are.
They really are.
Indeed. They are. Again, with that, I want to say again, thank you so much for you, Roger. I hope to see you again when we start at the predicted lineup show. It says again, Bro Chukwuemeka should start today. We never know. Again, I don't expect Chukwuemeka to start, but I think Broya could start. Chukwuemeka, I'm not sure. But if he starts, I will take it. I will not be surprised. With that, I want to say thank you to Roger for finding the time to join me on the panel. I cannot thank you enough. And we have, again, Jamport Entertainment. Thank you for joining. Jos Viola, thank you so much for finding the time, to join, the show to help keep things civil there. Thank you, Supreme Quads. Thank you to Liam Lane. Also, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I cannot thank you enough. Gitonga David, my brother Ankit, and to every other person in the chat. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. I hope to see you guys again in a few minutes when the predicted lineup show starts. Thank you. See you guys soon, and cheers.